The war in Ukraine has created a ripple effect on the world's economy. It's also triggered the greatest supply shock in 50 years, says European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. So what is inevitable right now is the rapid corrosion of the Russian and Ukrainian economies. How bad is it going to be for these warring economies? Russia might be seeing an estimated 10% shrink, while Ukraine's economy is estimated to shrink by a whopping 20%. A London-based lender projected this forecast. EBRD works in many economies across East Central, Southeast Europe, Central Asia, and many more. Russia was already reeling under the pressure of economic sanctions imposed by the United States and its Western allies. This would further push the Russian economy to a standstill, at least for the foreseeable future. But the effects will not happen in isolation, as Russia's neighboring countries in East Europe and Central Asia will experience negative spillovers from the sanctions on Russia. Another country that will be reeling under similar pressure is Belarus. The country also faces Western sanctions over its role in the conflict. Belarus's economy is supposed to shrink by 3% by 2022, as per EBRD. Both Russia and Ukraine supply a high share of commodities like wheat, corn, fertilizers, titanium, and nickel. Before the war started, inflation pressure existed, and now the prices will be even higher. High prices for these commodities mean more pressure on the lower income countries and the poorer population in most nations. But these are not the only factors that are shrinking the two economies. An emerging migrant crisis is also at play, as this is the greatest forced displacement Europe has ever witnessed since World War II. There's hope, but only if a ceasefire is brokered. But that won't be enough. Ukraine, for instance, would require significant reconstruction, and in that scenario, Ukraine's GDP should be able to rebound. But given the nature of the war that's going on, it's really unlikely. Ukraine also has a large workforce of skilled laborers, and the forced displacement means they might fill in countries with an aging population, and that might boost some of those economies. Irrespective of such a scope, the short-term situation is not looking good. Both economies will face fiscal pressure, clubbed with trouble in scaling up the provision of healthcare, housing, and schooling.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.